Hi, in this video, we will be teaching you how to compute the net present value and internal rate of return using Excel. We will refer to net present value shortly as the NPV and to internal rate of return as IRR. NPV and IRR are extremely popular capital budgeting tools that are widely used by practitioners and academics alike. So let's begin with the NPV first, and then we will move on to IRR. So both of these tools are used to quantify the attractiveness of investment projects. So I will begin by considering a very simple project, which involves investing $1,000 today. Let's call it date 0, which is now. And let's assume starting from next year, it will start generating cash flows for a duration of 3 years. And let's then assume also the project will end and there won't be any further cash flows. So let's say this project will generate $500 for each of these 3 years. And we would like to know the NPV of this project. What we need to do in this case is to calculate the present value of each of these cash flows and add them up. Now, I will first show you how to do that manually, and then next we will be using Excel's inbuilt NPV function. But we are missing a key piece of information to do that, which is our discount rate. So to do this analysis, we need a discount rate because we need that to calculate the present value of the cash flows. So let's assume a discount rate of 10% to begin with. Later on, we will try out different discount rates as well and see the impact of that in our calculations. And let's begin with the first cash flow. We don't need to discount this one because it's already now, so it's at present, right? But these are future cash flows and they need to be discounted. So I will start with the first cash flow. So I will divide it by 1 plus the discount rate to the power 1, right? Because this is in year 1. And that will give me the present value of that as the $454, right? So I want to copy these cells to copy this cell over here as well. So I need to fix certain things. So first of all, I need to fix the row, because later on I will try different discount rates, okay? And I would need to fix the row of this as well. And I will need, I think, to fix the column of the discount rate, okay? Now I'm just gonna extend this over here and here. And these are gonna be my present value for the second cash flow. As you can see, it takes the second cash flow, discounts again at 10% for 2 years. And this one, the third cash flow, discounting at 10% for 3 years. I can actually copy this over here as well. And this should give me 1,000 because this is at present, right? So this is to the power 0, which is equivalent to 1, right? So the present value is, of course, 1,000. So the NPV of this project is simply the sum of these cash flows. Okay. So let's do that. And that is $243.43. Now, this is the manual way of doing it. But you can, of course, use inbuilt Excel functions. So there are a couple of options. So let's begin first with Excel's NPV function. And next, I will also show you the XNPV function. So for the NPV function, you need to first enter the rate, which is, of course, over here, 10%. And then you need to enter each cash inflow at a time. So you don't actually include this investment cost at the start, but you start from the first cash inflow, incurred over here, then the next one, and then the next one. again, I'm gonna extend this later on sort of downwards with different discount rates. So I'm gonna fix the row over here, here, and here. So this will give me the present value of these cash flows, but I should not forget my investment cost. Again, I'm gonna fix the row. And if I've done everything correctly, I should get exactly the same figure. So let's check it out. And here we are. So we got exactly the same figure. There is another Excel function to compute the NPV, which is called XNPV. That works a bit easier, but it also requires you to specify dates. Okay. So let me just make up some dates. So let's say 1st of January 2023. Okay, so let this be my first date. And then let me just add 365 days this date, which is, of course, 1st of January next year. Then the following year, this becomes 31st of December, because actually there are 366 days here. So one extra day. Then we add one more year, let's say 365 more days. And here we are. So I've got everything I need for my XNPV calculation. Again, I need the rate. Okay. Now, instead of entering cash flows one by one, I can actually enter them all together. So this is actually easier to use. Okay. And again, I'm gonna fix them because I like to keep doing this for different discount rates. And what else I need? I need, of course, the dates, right? So again, fix the row over here. Hopefully I've done everything correctly, in which case I should be getting again the same figure, and there we are. Okay, so this is the manual way of doing it, using the present value of each cash flow. This is the NPV function, and this is the XNPV function. By the way, you can find the link to this spreadsheet in the video description if you would like to use it later on as well for your convenience. Okay. So the next thing I would like to do is to see how the NPV would change if I change the discount rate. In many cases, we may not know the exact discount rate. We might have an idea, let's say, 10%, 12%, and so on. So I would like to see the impact of that uncertainty over the discount rate on the NPV of the project. So I'm going to try various different discount rates up to 30%. Okay? And let's see how the NPV changes. Intuitively, as I use higher discount rates, the NPV should go down, right? So at 10%, this is a positive NPV project, which means it's a good project that we should invest in. Okay. Now let's see what happens if I pull this down. Okay. As you can see, the present values of the cash flows start to decline because I'm discounting them more heavily. So let's extend the NPV. As you can see, NPV starts dropping, okay, and eventually becomes negative. So let's see, is it going to give me the same result? Luckily, it does. And this one as well, okay? So what I can easily see here is that as I increase the discount rate, the NPV starts falling and eventually becomes negative. We can do more here, and this will have implications for our next item on the agenda, which is the IRR, the internal rate of return. Before moving to IRR, let's plot what's called an NPV schedule. Okay, so I'm going to insert a line chart. Okay? That will look like this. So I need to select data, something over here. So let's select the data. So the data I need is the NPV values, okay? And I'm gonna use for the axis labels our discount rates. Oops, sorry, rates. This. Here we are. So this is our NPV schedule. So it shows how the project's NPV changes as we change the discount rate. So as we increase the discount rate from 10% to 30%. Like we have seen, it starts dropping, and at some point it becomes negative. Now, this is a good point to start discussing the IRR. Okay, so what IRR captures is this break-even point. So IRR gives us the discount rate for which the NPV is exactly zero. And just by doing this, we can sort of have a good guess where the IRR is going to be. So it should be where the NPV turns from positive to negative, from positive to negative, right? And that's going to be between 23% to 24%, right? So I know both visually and from this data, that's where the IRR should be lying, right? So what I can do is actually, by trial and error, I can try to find it. So I'm going to insert two rows over here. This will open up a gap over here, but that's fine. So first, I'm going to try, let's say, a discount rate of 23.5%. So I'm splitting this, and let's format this a bit more nicely. Let's use 2 decimal places. So this is going to be 23.5%. So this is 1 percentage point interval. I'm just splitting in the middle. So let's calculate the NPV there. As you can see, the NPV is still negative, although it's less negative. So I'm approaching. So it means that I'm still discounted too heavily. So the IRR should lie somewhere in between 23% to 23.25%, right? Sorry, 23.5%, yes. So again, I'm going to split this interval into 2, right in the middle, and I'm going to try a discount rate of 23.25%. And now the NPV is positive. Again, let me just format this nicely. So by trial and error, I've already narrowed down the gap quite a bit. So I know that the IRR should be somewhere in between these two figures. Why? Because the NPV is just positive here, very small but positive, and it's very small but negative over here. So this takes, of course, long time to reach the actual IRR, and Excel can do that much faster for you just through the IRR function. Simple as that. So what you need to do is to type IRR. Again, there's, for example, an XIRR function, which is very similar to the XNPV function using the dates. You can maybe try that out as well, but let's begin with the normal IRR function. And all you need to do is to select the cash flows. And you can enter a guess value as well, which I'm not gonna do. I'll let Excel do the heavy lifting. And that gives me 23%, but let's format that better. And as you can see, it's 23.38%. And as I have correctly guessed, it's in between these two figures. So let's see if we can get the same figure using XIRR function. Hopefully I should. Again, in this case, I'm selecting these cash flows. And now I need to put the dates as well. And I'm not going to enter a guess. And we get the same figure. So let's just format this nicely. And as you can see, it's the same figure. So to summarize, NPV and IRR are both capital budgeting tools that helps analysts, decision makers to assess the quality of a project. If the NPV is positive, we invest in the project. If it is negative, we don't. And IRR just gives us the discount rate at which the NPV is zero. So Excel has this nice built-in functions like the NPV function or the XNPV function to calculate the NPV, and the IRR and XIRR functions to calculate the internal rate of return. I hope you found this video useful. Like I said, if you go to the video description, you can get access to this spreadsheet, and hope to see you in another video.